There's a lot to feel great about being Australian, like our spirit of mateship and making the most of the many opportunities we're given. We're known for our courage and resilience and our passion. Most importantly, we believe in the idea of a fair go. Not just having one, but also giving one in return. We are vibrant and distinct as one of the most diverse societies in the world. While our stories may begin in different places, we're bonded by a common future that we will create together. So look around. It's easy to find inspiration to participate in your Australian citizenship. That means getting out there, being part of the community, and helping to create a sense of belonging. When every single one of us are just that little bit inspired to get involved, together as Australians, we can be truly inspiring.
Welcome to the Inspiring Australians Lunch with Leaders. My name is Denise McClements and I am the Senior Manager of Programs, Events and Alumni here at AUSPA, the Australia Day Council of WA. It's my pleasure to be your MC today. I would like to start off by welcoming all those who are joining us around Australia. I'm here in Perth, Whadjuk Noongar country, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging all around Australia. So let's get started. Today we are here to celebrate Harmony Week. This week is about Australia's cultural diversity and it promotes inclusiveness, respect and a sense of belonging for everybody. Harmony Week is observed during the week that includes the 21st of March, which is the United Nations International Day of Racial Discrimination. And this morning, I also learnt that today is International Day of Happiness, and that's to promote happiness and wellbeing for all people. So I hope that you're all having a very happy day today and that we can add a little bit more sunshine as we go through this next hour. Harmony Week serves as a time to reflect on the importance of embracing cultural diversity and fostering harmonious relationships with our community. By participating in Harmony Week activities, we acknowledge that all Australians equally belong to this nation and enrich it through their varied cultural backgrounds. This year's theme is Everyone Belongs, emphasising the significance of inclusiveness and mutual respect. And we are delighted to have with us today Vanessa Brettell and Costello. They are co-founders of Cafe Stepping Stone, and they are the 2025 Australian of the Year Local Heroes. They're going to share with us their inspiring story of empowering migrant and refugee women through social enterprise. And this is really what Harmony Week is all about. So please welcome Vanessa and Hannah.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Thank you for being with us today. Firstly, congratulations on your award. It's a super, super privilege and we are so excited to have you with us. Just really briefly, tell us what life has been like since the 25th of January when your names were announced.
It's been a whirlwind. It has been very busy, both at work in our normal cafe operations, but also with lots of extra visitors and meetings and media. So, I think it's finally sunk in now. It's been about 6 weeks and we're feeling really excited about the year.
Great. All righty. Well, we'll hear a little bit more about your future aspirations as we sort of go through, but I'm kind of keen to go back to the beginning a little bit. Tell us how the two of you met.
Yeah, so we realised that actually when we first met was when the first idea of Cafe Stepping Stone started. So that's 10 years this year that the idea of coming up with Cafe Stepping Stone happened, and we were both living in London, working at the same pub. And Vanessa came to me and said, hey, have you ever thought about going to Colombia and starting a social enterprise? And I hadn't, but I thought it was a good idea. So we jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah. And why Colombia? I'm sort of keen to understand that, how you landed there in your first venture together.
Yeah, so I studied a Bachelor of Latin American Studies at the Australian National University, and as part of that degree, I had to go over to Colombia or somewhere in South America to do a university exchange. And so I did a university exchange in Bogota, the capital city, in 2013. And while I was there, I had an opportunity, 2014. And while I was there, I had an opportunity to travel around and I visited Cartagena and I saw, unfortunately, a lot of inequality. So there was a lot of tourism, but there was a lot of people living in extreme poverty. And having both of those things in the same city just was very obvious that the wealth was not being distributed. And so that really kind of stuck with me.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And do you speak Spanish? Do both of you speak Spanish?
Now we do, yes.
We do now. I studied Spanish at university, but my ability to communicate and speak was quite limited. So
Right.
we learned very fast with the help of a lot of locals, which was good.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And they say the best way to learn a language is to go and live there and be forced to speak the language, for sure.
Yes.
So you started off your cafe over there, and tell us about some of the challenges, I mean, other than speaking the language, that you faced going to a strange country and setting up a cafe.
Yeah, so there were a lot of challenges. I think if we had known how challenging it was going to be, we wouldn't have gone over. So we were full of, I guess, high hopes, and we just wanted to try and give it a go. And we went over with our savings and this idea with another one of our friends, Tom, and we just started to meet with local organisations and see what they thought of the idea. And everyone thought it was a great idea and something that was really needed. They also just had a lot of belief in us. So I guess that made us believe in ourselves as well. And we were really lucky to find a cafe space that we were able to hire with the assistance of a local foundation. And getting that space, which was in the centre of Getsemani, which is beautiful, part of the historic centre, where there was a lot of hostels around and a lot of just foot traffic, was really essential to us being able to succeed. But there were definitely a lot of challenges in that spot. Just a month after we opened, we got a letter saying they were going to redo the pavement and all of the plumbing on that road. And so they closed the road for 3 months and put up huge construction barricades. And somehow we still managed to survive. And while the construction was happening, there was a huge tropical
rainstorm,
and our roof started leaking, and then half the roof fell, and we were open with customers at the time, and we still had people coming. Can we have a coffee? And we're like mopping the floor.
Yeah, we've got water already.
Yes,
so lots of interesting challenges.
Electricity would go out every week. The water would just get turned off randomly. So it made us very
adaptive. We were very adaptive and became quite resilient after
having
challenges.
Yeah. That was the word that just sprung to my mind when you were saying that. I thought, oh, resilience.
I think the employees that we had over there were working with Afro-Colombian and Indigenous youth, and they were so resilient and they were so hardworking that whatever we were facing was nothing compared to what they faced every day. And the fact that they could just come to work and had a smile on their face and were really willing to learn and work hard was really, really inspiring for us.
Sure. And do you feel that the people that went through the cafe and learnt from you, have you sort of found what people are doing now and evidence of them actually going on? Because it was youth that you were teaching, that you were mentoring through that program.
I think definitely we did have some impact in their lives. It was an unfortunate time that we had to close up. It was COVID, so it was difficult for a lot of people to get through that. But we're really proud of a lot of our cohort. We have one young man who started with us who had an interest in the kitchen, and now he's the executive chef at a really beautiful restaurant in the historic centre of Cartagena. We have other staff, a lot of staff from the kitchen have gone through and they're now working at bakeries and managing front of house. And we have a few staff that have started their own ventures in gardening and producing veggies and eggs and egg farms. So that's been really nice to see. I think it's a lot of their resilience and determination has put them in those positions. But I think also just having someone who kind of believed in them in the beginning and gave them a chance opened up these opportunities for them.
And we were offering employment, but we were also did weekly trainings, and that was on a range of topics. So one week we would be teaching them about nutrition, and then another week we did sexual education, democracy, digital literacy, economics, and different topics like that, that we just, after getting to know them, realised that they had just were lacking in that knowledge, and we really wanted to equip them with as much information as we could so that they could make informed decisions, because we found that a lot of their situation was just the decisions they were making lacked a little bit of choice, and so that's what we really were trying to provide them. And through those different workshops and things, I think we were able to broaden their knowledge about different topics, and that's what kind of inspired them to go down different paths. So that was really, that was really nice to see.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's inspiring on its own. But you mentioned COVID, the dreaded COVID-19. So 2020 brought you back to Australia. And after spending a little bit of time, I'm sure, in lockdown, like all the rest of us, you embarked on your Cafe Stepping Stones here in Canberra, and decided to actually have a focus on refugee and migrant women. So tell us a little bit about how that all came about in Australia.
Yeah, so Hannah and I were already wanting to move back to Australia because we missed our friends and family, and it was a challenging 3.5 years in Colombia that we'd spent there. And so we were kind of looking at different opportunities, and we had just by chance got in touch with Stratton Arts Centre and heard that they were looking for cafe operators. So that's why, after spending 2 weeks in hotel quarantine and getting humanitarian flights back from Colombia, we opened at Stratton within 6 weeks. So it was a really quick turnaround, and we started really small, just a small team to kind of find our feet again back in Canberra. And we decided to work with migrant and refugee women because we wanted to, we just saw a gap in services that were available. There's a lot of services around education or different training, but there's not really any programs that had the ability for women to earn while they were learning. And that was really essential for a lot of the women that we work with now, because they didn't have that luxury to just go and do trainings without being able to get a wage while they were learning. So
sure. And you mentioned, while you're in Colombia, running programs outside of the standard hospitality offering within the cafe. Do you do that as well here with your programs?
In the beginning, a lot of the training has been centered around hospitality and the transferable skills that you can gain through doing that. We're now really happy that we have English pathways for staff that work with us. So we have volunteers that come in and give English conversation classes. We've also done a financial literacy training, which went over really, really well, I think. And the plan is to continue doing those things into the future.
So working with local organisations we do trainings in women's health, and we actually just got a little grant to help us deliver some digital literacy training this year with all of our staff. So I guess identifying those gaps as well, but partnering with other services. And that's the fantastic thing about operating here in Australia, is there are so many other services and social enterprises all about collaboration. And so it's really wonderful to work together to be able to improve the opportunities for these women.
Yeah. And I guess you see some women that sort of come through your program and move on, and then some that stay. on. I think I saw on one of your videos that your chef, your current sort of lady who runs the kitchen, is a long time member,
Yeah.
a worker
I
with
think
you.
she's
Is that
our
right?
longest term staff member we have at the moment, which will be in
5
August.
years.
I think it will be 5 years, which is
Right.
really exciting. And I think the key difference with us is we want to, the women that need long-term stable employment, we can offer that for them. And we find that we get better outcomes and have a larger impact when people feel safe in their job. They're not concerned about when they will be moved on, and they can really relax, make roots, and kind of, it's an easier transition into creating Australia as their home. But saying that, we have a lot of young kids that come through our program as well, young ladies who really just want that first job on their resume, a place to practice their English. And then when they hit university, or after they graduate from university, they're off doing other things that are more suited to the lifestyle that they want. So we also can offer that kind of short-term employment for people who just need like a head start.
But yeah, I guess our whole model is more focused on those with really high needs, so low levels of English proficiency, no previous work experience. Some of the women we work with have never had the opportunity to go to high school, and so their literacy levels in their own languages are quite low, which makes it difficult for them to learn English. And so we try to make a really adaptive and flexible workplace for them so that they can really thrive in what they do, and they're very capable. They just need us to be a little bit more flexible in the way that we set out the position for them.
And I guess with a cafe and what are your operating hours? Early start, sort of early afternoon.
In the school breaks, so they can drop their kids at school, come to work, finish work, pick their kids up from school. We don't really do many things in the evenings just because caring responsibilities is one of those barriers that a lot of the women face, and we try and be as flexible around that as possible.
Yeah. So no 6 a.m. cafe starts like a lot of them do.
No. One of our cafes opens at 8 a.m., but there's some later shifts available for those that require it. So
So you have two cafes now. Another one in Dixon. I'm a little bit familiar with Canberra, not overly familiar, but how's that one going?
Good. So the first one, as I was saying, was in the Arts Centre, and then after running there for 2 years, there was a ACT government tender that was put out for a work integration social enterprise in Dixon, which is a bit more centrally located. And so we thought it was just too good of an opportunity to say no to. So we applied, and we didn't really expect to get it, but we were successful, and we opened here in Dixon in August of 2023, so about a year and a half ago now. And it has allowed us to triple our impact and really grow. And I don't think we would have won the recent award without having Dixon and really being able to spread our wings and grow the community of Stepping Stone.
Yeah. And in terms of the workload, so you said here in Dixon, so you're sitting at that cafe now, but how do you split your workload? Do you have someone managing the other cafe for you?
We go between the two. So
we have grown our management team, which has been fantastic and integral to us being able to deliver what we're currently delivering. We have 42 staff, 37 of which are beneficiaries. But the great thing, like we were speaking earlier about the chef at Stratham, we've had people who have come through the program who, have trained up, are proficient in their job, and they're now able to help the new cohort of people that are coming through. So all of our supervisors, the head chef at Dixon, cafe manager at Stratham, they're all beneficiaries that have come through, and they're now leading teams, which is really fantastic because it's important to have people with the lived experience to come through and aid others coming through the program.
Yep. Oh yeah, look, and I think, if you think about hospitality, and it's a very transient workforce. So to take people and to keep them and grow them in your business is, I think, really important, because you would see that there's always cafes looking for new staff, people come in for a while, then they go again.
Yes.
So that's what you're doing is really important, I think, to actually give them a pathway.
Yes.
Yes, and there's always a bit of a shortage, and so if we can help train up people to be chefs and pastry chefs and waitresses and baristas, then that will help the industry in general as well. So,
Cool. So give us a little bit of a background in terms of the background of the people that come through your program, like, talking about the multicultural aspect. Is there any one group that you think is more significant than others, or is it a large from people from all around the world?
it's definitely people from all around the world. So everyone except for the 5 people in our management team are beneficiaries. We currently have 37 beneficiaries, and so all women from migrant and refugee backgrounds. Majority of those did come to Australia as refugees or asylum seekers, and I guess just in line with the norms in the humanitarian settlement process is there's a lot of our staff are from Afghanistan, Myanmar, and Sudan are probably the highest proportion of employees that we have, but then we have employees from Taiwan and Colombia and Fiji, Rwanda, the Congo,
Argentina.
Russia. So I guess depending on the person, it kind of depends on the barriers that they're facing, and you might think someone might be from a little bit of a higher socioeconomic background, but maybe they've just escaped domestic violence, or maybe they've had other situations that have created a lot of barriers to them entering or re-entering the workforce after a long break. So I guess we just ask that all of our customers are kind of trust that we are doing our due diligence on that side, and that everyone that we employ really needs the opportunity that we're providing.
Sure. And I guess that's a good question too. Like, because when people start with you and they've come from somewhere as a refugee, their English is not great and they haven't got the skills. From your customer's perspective, I mean, how do people that come in know that they obviously know that's what you're doing, but you must have a really supportive customer base that are accepting of maybe things take a little longer to get your coffee made.
Yeah.
That sort of
We're
thing.
so lucky. Canberra has embraced us with arms wide open. They are fantastic, and they're the reason that we are still open and the reason that we can continue to operate, because without them coming and visiting the cafe, it's 70% of our revenue is made through them coming and purchasing a meal or a coffee. So we're indebted to the Canberra community. They're fantastic. And I think a lot of people do, the first time they come, they hear about us and hear about the program, and that's why they come and they want to meet the women that we work with and see the environment. And I think it is really nice because people are they're a little bit considerate that things may not go as smoothly as they think. But something that I'm very proud of is I think that people come back again because of how high the service is and what kind of the quality of customer service that we can give and the quality of our food. I think people come back again and again because they also enjoy that, not just supporting the social enterprise. All of the women that we work with work incredibly hard to make sure that everything that goes out is in top quality, and we're really proud of the effort that they put in. But we have certain spaces in the cafe that are made for people who are transitioning and when they first come into employment, where it may not be front facing. They have a support team with them to make sure that they're doing activities that are easy and to their skill level.
Sometimes be paired up with another staff member who speaks their language so that we can communicate with them and do that training. So that's another thing that I guess we offer. So for those with really, really low levels of English, and then it's really wonderful to see their language skills and confidence develop, and then for them to come out of their shells and express themselves more as well.
Sure. And in terms of the menus, like, do you embrace some of the food from those cultures? So if someone joins and says, "Oh, by the way, I can make something that's from my country," is that the food that you serve?
Yes. So originally it started with me doing the menu, but I'm so happy that we now have like a large group of people who are really enthusiastic about sharing their recipes. At Strathnand, our first cafe, we're really lucky. The head chef is from Thailand and Myanmar, so all of the specials are hers. A lot of the menu has her recipes on it and a few of the other ladies that work over there. And then at Dixon, we're really fortunate to have a really great head chef, Jenny, who is able to just like talk to these ladies and translate what a home style dish is into something that can be served at a cafe. So the Dixon menu is filled to the brim with lots of different things from all over the world. We have a fantastic corn omelette from Myanmar. We have Turkish eggs by Cheatham, which are super delicious. And then the specials board just has so many delicious things. It's really great to see.
So yeah, we can hope to continue growing that side of things and with the drinks as well for the staff that work in front of house and the sweets. So we bake all of our sweets in-house. So trying to get them to have the confidence to share, because originally that is something that took a little bit longer, and they just didn't think that the customers would like their food. So I think once they saw other staff sharing their recipes, they were like, oh, I want to share mine now.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And I wish we hadn't raised that question of food, because it is lunchtime here in Perth and I haven't eaten. But it just sounds delicious. It sounds really lovely. We've actually got a question just popped up here on the chat, and I'm going to ask this one. What do you enjoy most? Thank you to Jen. What do you enjoy most about having an all-female workforce?
I think once we identified the cohort of people that we wanted to employ through Stepping Stone, we thought that it was really important to keep it to an all-female staff, just because of different cultural backgrounds and some of the barriers that these women do face to employment is sometimes interaction with males. So we thought that it was something very important to kind of protect them and to make sure that it was a safe environment for them to learn. But it's fantastic having a all female team. Everyone is very caring and considerate, and yeah, it's one of the best things, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we feel very strong and supportive of each other. Of course, there's also a few, sensitivities and things that do arise, but as they do in all workplaces. And so I think when you're working very closely together, and thanks to this award, the cafes are now very busy, which has also come with the effect that the workplace has become a little bit more fast-paced and stressful at times. So that can create conflicts, but that's just a normal part of things. And learning how to resolve those conflicts in a way that's mature and respectful is a part of learning how to work in a workplace with other people. So it's all part of the learning journey.
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask that question about, have you seen a real bump in your visitor numbers, your cafe, clients since the 25th of January when the announcement? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people based in Canberra who would be curious to want to come and check it out.
Yeah, it's been really lovely. We've definitely felt Canberra coming to support us, but I think something that was really integral to the staff understanding the kind of like scope and gravity of this award. We've had many people coming from interstate to visit. So, they're coming for something else in Canberra to visit family or friends, but, they made a special visit to come and meet the staff and say hello and introduce themselves. And I think the staff just think that that's amazing. They're like, people from Brisbane came and WA, and we had people from Newcastle this morning, and they're all just like, how cool is that? It's nice.
Yeah. So I guess the award feels like it's for everybody.
It definitely is for everyone.
I think everyone in Canberra, all of our customers were so excited, and still they're like, I was watching and I jumped up from my couch and screamed. So that's really nice to kind of share it with everyone. And we have the awards up in the cafe at Dixon for everyone to see and kind of feel part of.
Yeah, and look, we can fully appreciate that, because being in WA and having Brother Ollie Pickett, as named as the Senior Australian of the Year, we had a little group here on the night of the awards, and we were we were screaming as well, and we were super excited. So, and Peter certainly embraced Ollie.
What a champion. He just, after the award, I was so tired, but he was there partying with everyone, got up super early, went to all of the interviews and was just like, how, like
This is great.
This is great. Like what a champion. He's such a lovely man.
Yeah. No, look, it's it's a super special award for him, and he's a very, very inspiring man, as are you two. So just reminded to the people that are online with us today, if you do want to ask a question of Hannah and Vanessa, just pop it into the chat. We've still got about 15 minutes or so. So happy to keep asking some questions. I've got some more here, but I don't want to be the only one. So please, if you've got anything, here we go, and we've just had one. Oh no, someone's actually saying they're going to come and visit you.
Beautiful.
So
we
look out for Jonesy. She's Jonesy. I hope I've got that right. She's saying that she's going to be in Canberra and will come and pay you a visit.
Yeah, please let us know when you're going to come, and we'll make sure that we're at either of the cafes to meet you.
Now they're all flooding in now. Hold on a second.
Great.
I can see them here now.
Oh, you can see them as well. Fantastic. All right.
I guess we can ask the question about accrediting skills.
Yes.
We actually have a training going on right now with 8 people that we've just onboarded
in customer
service through a registered training organisation. So we get a local training organisation to come in and give food health and safety certificates. If it's appropriate, barista certificates. We have the certificate in customer service happening at the moment. So it depends on the staff member and whether that certificate is important to them. But if it is important, then we will definitely get them that certificate. But everything that we teach is in line to the hospitality Cert 3 that's offered by CIT here in Canberra.
Right. Okay. All right. That's fabulous. Thank you for that question to Bella.
And advice about supporting people to get accredited. I'd say try and match up with a local training organisation and make sure that they really understand the cohort of people that you're training, because that has been a bit of an issue in the past, where maybe someone comes to provide a training and they speak really, really quickly and don't adapt it for people who have English as a second language, or make more visual, worksheets and things. So I'd give that advice, but also trying to pick units that can really be helpful in a range of occupations and workplaces. So not those that are really specific to one workplace.
Yeah. And I think in most states and territories there's what we call the TAFE program here, the tertiary education program, run hospitality certification. So you probably link up with one of those or go and inquire with one of those if you're interested in finding out about how you make sure that you mentioned CIT, which is Canberra Institute of Technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like here in Western Australia, we have a TAFE program that runs hospitality courses as well. So thank you for that question. There's one about the award helping the cafe going forward, and I had that on my list of questions, but would you like to tell us what you've got planned for the next at least the next 12 months while you have this award?
Yeah, so before winning the award, we were not thinking of scaling at all, because we were just going to keep focusing on what we were doing. But this award has definitely given us a sense of motivation and encouragement to go bigger. And we have over 50 women on our waiting list, and some of those 8 women that Hannah just mentioned that we onboarded in the last month or so have been on the waiting list since April and May last year. And since onboarding the 8 new people, we've had 13 more people apply with us. So it's a growing list, and we need to think about how we can expand to be able to accommodate them. And so we're looking at diversifying our businesses so that we can offer a larger range of employment opportunities. Someone else asked if we were in the hospitality industry before we started. We were. We both worked in hospitality from high school and as part-time jobs in university. And then when we finished university, as Hannah mentioned, we were working in a pub. And so range of different hospitality jobs. And that's why we decided to open the cafe, because it was the skills that we already knew and had. And then we thought, how can we use those to help people? And now with this award, we've had a few other people approach us and tried to come and offer to use their skills and experiences to grow stepping stones. So one exciting potential opportunity is everything's still in draft mode, but we're working hard to get some things off the ground, is to create a horticultural training program by creating a market garden next to one of the cafes so that we can grow produce and sell maybe vegetable boxes, but also grow produce for the cafes. And in that way, we can offer a different type of training that might be better suited to people. And to link it to the disability question, we currently don't have any staff members with any physical disabilities that work in our team. The cafes are set up to be accessible for people with wheelchairs at both sites, with bathrooms, and at Dixon, because it was fit for purpose, we made that specifically the case so that someone could work in the cold drinks and kitchen area with a wheelchair as well. But we haven't had anyone apply with us yet. But going forward, if we were to set up other businesses, we would keep that in mind as well.
Sure. Yeah. That's fabulous. And that sounds exciting about a market garden. Oh,
yes, we're very excited.
Yeah.
Food system business, so that all the different businesses can maybe interact with each other a little bit more, and hopefully have a composting system there to process the organic waste that we make at the cafe. At the moment, we send that to a different processing facility, but it would be great to have that on site as well.
Yeah, and you know that there's a really nice synergy around growing your own produce that you cook and serve as well. So yeah, it sounds really really great. I'm just having a quick look where you're in the hospital. Yes, we've had that one.
I can speak to the feedback if you like.
Yeah, sure.
From Victor. Every decision we make, we talk to our employees about it. We talk to our beneficiaries about it. Everything we do is with them in mind. This year has been really fantastic. 2 of our young staff members have started a staff advisory board, because we felt that sometimes when we go in as the managers, I think everyone feels comfortable with us, but sometimes people just want to say something because they want to say something nice about you, or want to sound positive. So the
critical feedback is a bit harder to receive
sometimes, yes. So by having a staff advisory board where they can all meet and all talk about the issues that they have with the cafe, or improvements that they want to make, or where they see the cafe going in the next couple of years, it's really important for us to get that feedback and make sure that what we're doing and the decisions that we're making are in line with what they want and what they need. So we've always tried to be a very adaptive workplace and listen and put their feedback into action. Of course, we can always learn and do better, but that's something that's at the forefront of our mission.
Sure. Thanks for that one. There's a question here that I am struggling to read, Stephen.
I think Stephen, you must come for coffees very often. There is a potential to open 7 days a week. At the moment, we don't have the management staff to be able to open 7 days a week.
We're currently hiring a cafe manager.
Which may help opening 7 days a week, but never say never. We will, we'll take the feedback and try.
Yes, it means that we have to have 2 people in each position. So you can imagine our chef works 5 days a week, and if we wanted to open those extra 2 days a week, we'd need to hire another person for that. So that's why it becomes a bit tricky. But it's something we talk about.
Yeah, and look, I think it is interesting. Cafes, there was a long time when people thought they had to work 7 days a week, but Again, depending on your location, there's an option to do if you're near more businesses than residents, then the 5 days of the week is actually probably still acceptable. And if you're in a more residential area, some people work on the weekends and close Mondays and Tuesdays. So it really just depends on circumstances. It's a big workload to take on 7-day a week.
Yeah.
Often, isn't it?
Yes. I think having both cafes closed on one day is very important to our mental health, but
Yes.
we'll see. I think if we, as we grow, there'll be opportunity for more people to come into the management team and people from the beneficiaries to step up and take on those responsibilities. So it definitely is in the dot points of the growth in the next 5 years. We'll just see how long it takes for us to do that.
Yeah. And having that ability for you guys to kind of step back and take a more strategic role and leave those people in charge of the day-to-day operations. That would, I guess, for you two, that would be ideal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to stepping away from the operations a little bit.
Sure. So actually, Charlotte's just posted from our team some of the fellow local heroes joining us.
Yeah, I think we've seen Jacinta from WA.
Jacinta, I was just going to say.
Tasmania. Hello. Beautiful, amazing people doing amazing things. If you don't know about them, you should go and research.
Jacinta, I'm just gonna can we just unmute Jacinta for a second?
Of course.
Pop your camera on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Where are you?
Sorry if you didn't expect the shout out.
And so great to see you and to hear like so much more about what you've been doing. It's really inspiring. And you know, what I love so much is the community you've created within your cafes and how much that just gives so much back to each individual person. I love it.
Thank you.
And for those who don't know Jacinta, I'm just going to give a little overview. Jacinta is our WA recipient of the Local Hero, and she runs a program called Healing Smiles. Jacinta is actually a dental dentist by trade, and she works with people, victims of domestic violence, to help bring their smile back, because it's a very important thing to actually be able to open your mouth and smile and feel confident in doing that. So Jacinta's work is fantastic, and we look forward to having Jacinta in a few of the other events that we've got planned. Jacinta's going to one of the schools very shortly to talk with our Aussie of the Month program recipients. So that's exciting for Jacinta. So Jacinta, thanks for being on board. Great to see you. I've got, and you're right. Someone's just pointed out, as I said earlier, just today is World Happiness Day. So having a smile is really important. Let me just see. We've probably got time just for a couple more. What are some of the challenges that you faced with working with refugees, given the time it takes to adjust to a new environment?
Yeah, I guess that's a big part of what we're trying to do, is to try and help them integrate into Australian society and kind of accelerate their settlement process. And having a job is such a big part of that. But it's not just about having an income and gaining skills, but it's also about having that community. And as Hannah was talking about, the English volunteers, that one-on-one time that they have with someone who's a bit like a neighbour kind of relationship has been really helpful for some of them, just to talk about some of those things that might not always be appropriate to talk to your boss or employer about. So offering them a bigger network also with the other staff. Now that we have a bigger team, it's really nice to hear when you ask a staff member how their weekend was, that they say they met up with other staff members and went out for dinner or met up in other ways. So that's been a really wonderful part of it. And I think something that's so key to the I guess, improvement of their quality of life is that a lot of our staff were feeling very isolated before working with us, and Canberra is quite a spread out place, which can feel quite isolating sometimes. And so if you're new to Canberra and you don't have a big social network, that is something that's really tricky, especially here. And so having a place where they can come and spend a lot of time here, and so they really get to know the other staff and the customers as well. And for some of them, it's just having a place outside of the home where they feel welcome and where they feel like they belong is really important for them.
Yeah, I think it's also good. We have in Canberra especially, there's a range of services that we've been able to team up with, and if there is something that someone is struggling with, we can kind of help them either advocate for themselves in the service that they're already a part of, or direct them to those services that can help them adjust to the new environment where they're living.
And to answer Jen's question, when we initially thought that of helping migrant and refugee women, we were going to focus on women who were escaping domestic violence in particular, but we didn't want to advertise that because we didn't want, them to be
in a space where people might be able to come and find them. I think it definitely is that could definitely work. But I think there is a few more sensitivities and nuances that have to be taken into consideration if you're going to promote it as a social enterprise. So definitely could work, but like many women's refuges that don't put their addresses out, and you kind of have to go through the system to find them, it could be something that could work, but in kind of an incognito mode, if that makes sense.
Or not in such a front-facing industry. Yeah. There's a beautiful project in Sydney called the Bread and Butter Project. So it's similar to what we do, but it's a bakery and it's not as front-facing. And so there's probably a lot of opportunities there. But I guess women who are escaping domestic violence is something that we take into consideration when we're onboarding people and try to be sensitive to those things. And we do have a few women that work with us who have unfortunately gone through that. So it's something that we are becoming more informed about as we go as well.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Jacinta has actually just pointed out on the chat line that Karen Franks from Tassie is also online. So Karen, welcome. Thank you for joining us as well. Congratulations on your nomination as a Tassie. And have you girls, you connected with the other state and territory recipients while you're in Canberra. Have you kept in touch with any of them? Have any of them been to Canberra since and visited?
No one's been to Canberra, but we have a little WhatsApp chat, which is really nice, where, if you see someone in an article or you're going to an event that someone else might be going to, it's we share it in the little WhatsApp chat, which is really lovely. And I think we'll be doing a little bit of traveling around Australia this year. So we're looking forward to, if we're in the state with anyone going, or territory, going to see them. So yeah, that'll be nice.
Well, if you're heading our way, definitely let us know, because we would love to see you while you're in Perth. So, look, I am aware of the time, and so I really just wanted to wrap up by saying thank you to both of you for being online. We run these events. It's called our Inspiring Australians series, and we do online events like we've done today, but we also do some in-person events. And for those of you that are based in Western Australia, we are super excited to be hosting Neil Danaher, 2025 Australian of the Year, in Perth in just a couple of weeks. Actually, the 8th of April, we're doing a lunch here with him. He's been given medical approval to travel, and so we're going to. He's going to come to Perth and do a few different events with us. If you're interested in coming to the lunch, just jump on our website, auspire.org.au. There's all the information about ticket bookings and the venue, etc. Once again, thank you for joining us. These two lovely ladies were received the award because somebody nominated them, and we have a saying that one nomination is all it takes. So I urge you to have a look around your network and see if there is someone that you feel is inspiring, like Vanessa and Hannah, or like Jacinta and Karen, who are with us as well today. And then just jump onto the, go to the Australian of the Year website, which is australianoftheyear.org.au as well, sorry. And you'll see the nominations there. Nominations are open all year round. So whilst there is a period in June and July when they're promoted, you can jump online at any stage and tell us why you think somebody that you know should be Australian of the Year. So in closing, I would like to thank Vanessa and Hannah for their time today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with both of you. I wish you every success for your future endeavours. I have no doubt whatsoever that you will be really, really successful in what you do. As a final wrap up, we have a little piece of Hannah and Vanessa's acceptance speech, and it's really related to the Harmony Week message that we're trying to get across to everybody today.
Australia, when we lift others up, everybody benefits. As a consumer, every dollar you spend is an investment in the world that you want. Choose social enterprise. You have the power to create change. Stepping Stone is only what it is with the support of so many people, the incredible women that we work with, our volunteers, the ACT government, and all of our customers.
We dream of a society where diversity is celebrated, where all people are empowered and able to live the lives that they choose. The work we're doing is far from over and will continue to create a stepping stone for others who need it. Thank you.
Thank you.